Well, for those who don't know me, it's Ben from My Cycling Coach, where we have now helped well over 500 cyclists hit 3 watts per kilo and beyond with their training, riding, fitness. I make these videos as I've been doing this now for the past 10 to 15 years, both with my own training, riding, but also coaching hundreds of riders to achieve their goals. And if I can help you fast track to your results with your training, nutrition, fueling, and the things I can discuss on these videos, rather than you having to spend that amount of time to get to where you want to be, if I can fast track that, then I've done my job with these videos. So today's video, what I wanted to talk to you about is guaranteeing your success or setting yourself up for success this winter with your training. I think everybody will agree, probably if you're watching this video, Q4 or the back end of the year that we're coming into now is normally a very, very busy time, can be quite a stressful time. And one of the things that normally takes a hit with this is our training, our nutrition, our fueling, and sometimes with that motivation as well, just because, the days start to get shorter, weather takes a turn, but so many other things come into life with, obviously there's, the festive period, I know there's Halloween, family, but also just generally at work, it may be a very busy time for you and lots of, social occasions, work things going on. And this is where that training, that nutrition, motivation, the fueling can take a hit. So I just wanted to go through a few. These may actually really sound quite basic things, and you may have done these sometimes in the past, but just a few things that you can do with your training, with your nutrition and fueling to set yourself up for success this winter, so that as we come into this very busy period, you can ensure that you maintain the consistency that you need to be able to still see progress coming off the back of the summer now, or at least, at a very minimum, at least maintain where you are with your power, your fitness, your weight and everything, so that you can then get into the beginning of 2024 and actually then build on where you are now, rather than losing the back end of the year, losing fitness, maybe potentially putting on any weight that you've already lost this year and then having to restart all over again in January. So let's begin really with the training, and I'm going to go through here that you may be somebody who does do some riding in the winter indoors. You may have an indoor setup, and if you haven't actually got that out yet or set it up, or you may have just sort of put it together and put the bike on there and started doing a little bit of riding indoors, then you just take some time now. The first step is really to just get your training room, if you're lucky enough to have a training room, or garage, or it may even just be that you have literally got a corner of the house somewhere where you've got your turbo train or your indoor bike or your indoor setup, whatever it is you use, and you just try to organize that area so that you actually have an area that you look forward to getting on and getting your session done, or going to do a ride. So you've got your bike set up there, that area, tidied it up a little bit. You may have stuck some posters up there. You may have a television that you can use to just watch some TV, or if you're using any of the online apps that are out there that you can then perform your rides and obviously training with, there's lots there and you can use those, and they are very good for motivation as well. But really just taking some time to actually have an area that is dedicated for your training, for your riding, and that is tidy. You can just jump on, whether it's first thing in the morning, whether it's when you're getting in from work in the evening, really stressful day, but you actually know you've got somewhere where you can think, my bike's there, I'm going to be able to go and do it, I'm going to be able to get my training done, and you can look forward to then having that, because you actually have a dedicated area for you to go and do your training and riding. With this then, with the training side of things, it's looking at, if you're somebody that really has to get up and train very early in the morning, it's then also just preparing or setting yourself up to succeed with that training session. So again, this time of year, very busy, and just a few little things that you may already be doing this, but the real basics is, if you're somebody who has to train, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, is just taking 5 to 10 minutes the evening prior to just get all of your kit set up and ready that you're going to need for that morning session. So if it is an indoor ride, you've got your bib shorts there, you've got your socks there ready, you've got your shorts there, you've got your towel, you've got your bidon set up, everything's set up with a bike, all of your devices are charged is another thing as well, especially if you're somebody who's using like an iPad or your phone or another device to perform the session. Everything's plugged in, everything's charged up, all your kit is laid out and ready to go the night before. As I say, this time of year, probably be really, really busy around your training, everything's going on. So just taking 5-10 minutes, get everything set up. What that's going to allow you to do is, rather than having to get up in the morning and spend 20 minutes to actually go and find all of those things that I mentioned and realize, iPad's not charged, that's then going to be cutting into your valuable training time that you have available So just spending that time before means that 20 minutes that you would have spent looking for everything and trying to charge things up, you can actually just wake up, get changed, jump on the bike, get your session done, and you're set up and ready for the day. And you know that you've completed that, and that can be a huge difference to actually then, actually going and continuing to ride consistently and getting your rides done, even if it's just a half an hour session in the morning. That 20 minutes, half an hour that you may have actually spent, looking for kit to try and get everything ready, you may have actually been able to just get a ride complete, and that may be your ride for the day. So just that little tweak there, getting your stuff ready, really going to help. On the other side of that, then it might be that actually you have to somebody you train, you just generally can't train in the morning, and you have to train after work later in the evening. And it's the same thing here, just knowing that it might still be the night before that you set this up, or you may even do this at the start of the week before the week comes in if you know you're going to be really busy just getting everything laid out for the week. But if you're somebody else to train after work or later in the evening, it's then either evening prior or morning when you get up, just literally laying all of your kit out in your dedicated training area, because you know that when you walk in the door from work, there's probably going to be lots of distractions in there. So it's really just knowing that you can walk straight in. You haven't got to go and then start looking for all your kit, your shorts, your socks, and all of the things that I mentioned there. You know that it's in your training room or it's in that dedicated training area. You can literally walk there, get changed, jump on the bike. And I call this almost, path of least resistance to your training, because at this time of year, sometimes the hardest part of, doing your riding is not the training itself. It's actually just getting on the bike to do it. So we can make that path of least resistance, just making sure that everything's laid out. So if you get changed, get on the bike, get your session done, then there's a much greater chance that that session is going to happen. You're going to get the time done that you want to, but you're just going to be able to maintain that consistency. So if it's later in the evening, whether that's the night before or the morning of, just make sure that your kit's ready so that when you walk in from work, we've had a really busy day, you can just literally still jump on, get your session done. Because again, psychologically, if you think, I haven't got anything ready, I've got to go and find everything, then that may mean that, you're not going to be able to train for as long, or that session may not even be happen. Because like I said earlier, the motivation at this time of year, if you think you've got to go and find everything and something's not charged, then that might be just, do you know what, I'm not going to do that ride today. So knowing that you've set yourself up for success there means that you're going to get that ride done, and you're going to continue to at least maintain or see that progression. On the other side of this, then, I was saying, is really the nutrition and fueling to go with this as well. So it's really like what we've just said with your kit there. It's just then making sure that if it's an early morning ride, the evening prior, depending on the session that it's going to be, but you just have your nutrition, your fueling, and your hydration set up and ready to go. So you've got your bottles there ready to just throw your water in. If it's going to be a higher intensity session or a longer ride that you're doing the next day, you know that you've got everything set out, whether if you use energy bars, if you use energy gels, if you make some of your own homemade things, you know that you've got that laid out. Because again, what can happen is you won't maybe prep as well with that, and then that's going to affect the quality of your ride. You may end up bonking on that ride, just generally not having as much energy as you want to, which means that the quality of that ride is then going to be impaired. You're not going to get as much from it. So just again, knowing that you've got that fueling, that hydration, everything laid out and set up depending on the ride that you're going to do is going to really help with that. So just the night before, looking at what ride am I doing tomorrow morning? If it's just going to be a half an hour, sort of hour zone 2, then you won't need as much. It'll probably just be, maybe just water that you'll use on that ride. But if you know that you're getting up and you're following some structure, and this is where that structure really helps as well, you're going to be doing a threshold session, you're going to be doing a VO2 max session, you're going to be doing some torque intervals. It might be you're going out and you're doing a longer ride at the weekend, just spending some time the night before to actually then ensure that you've got those things and your fueling plan laid out for the day. You know what you're going to use, what your target amounts are with your carbohydrates, that you've got your fluid with you, enough bottles and everything. And again, if you've laid your kit out, you've got that ready, it's literally a case of just waking up in the morning, getting changed, throwing your bars, your gels, everything in your jersey out the door, and you're set to have a great ride. With this then, again, later in the day, this may be more during the week if you're after work with the nutrition and fueling side of things and the hydration, as it can be sometimes that you may get caught out. So really busy day, haven't actually wanted to eat as much as you'd like to through the day, or your nutrition generally hasn't been that good. Again, if you're doing a harder session in the evening, so it's a threshold session, a VO2 max session, might be some online racing that you're doing, just knowing that you've got some things backed up and ready to take out with you. So it might be in your work bag that you throw in some, energy bars there, a gel. It might even just be, granola bar, cereal bar, banana. It might be that you're, just taking out in your you throw a bottle in your bag with you, or in your car if you're out, or even at home, wherever you are through the day, depending on what your job is or your work. That you just have a bottle with some carbohydrate powder in it, so that if you haven't been able to eat anything, when you're on your way home, you can have your energy bar, you can have your cereal bar, you can have your banana, you can drink some carbohydrate drink, so that when you get back home, you know that you're just ready, your kit's already laid out, you've got your fueling in, and you're actually being able to get on and have a real good session, rather than coming in and again, yeah, just feeling really low in energy because you haven't eaten much, not having that energy available, which could then actually again result in, yeah, generally not having much energy. Then motivation tends to not be there and prevent you then from actually, you know, getting on and doing a quality session, or even not wanting to do that session at all because you're just feeling so tired, but not tired as in that feeling of tiredness because you haven't maybe slept as much. You may not have slept as well, but generally that tiredness just because you're not fueled and ready to get on and enjoy that session. So yeah, hopefully just some things I wanted to run through there today. And these may sound really quite basic, and I might sound like a bit of, you know, old school teacher saying, yeah, make sure you get your kit ready and things. But the difference that this makes, and I have found this over the years in my own training and riding, but what I've tried to work with, certainly with my clients who are very busy, travel a lot coming into this time of year, out on the road all day, or just very busy on, you know, Zoom calls all day at home. Or just generally, if you do have the time, but coming into this time of year and you're having to maybe alter where you actually train and really have to be so efficient with your time now to get the session in, just paying attention to a few of those little things that I've mentioned, whether it's the training, whether it's the nutrition, the fueling, the hydration, can be the difference to you now maintaining a really good level of consistency with your riding, albeit that volume of training may have actually reduced at this time of year. That doesn't matter. Just maintaining that consistency, implementing some of those things means that you're going to be able to hit the start of 2024 in a really good position to then build on everything you've achieved this year, or actually just, yeah, progress even further with it at the same time. So yeah, I hope you found that useful. If you have, yeah, please drop a like on the video, give us a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. Thanks for watching. As I say, I make these videos to try and just help fast track you to achieve your goals, keep you on track, keep you motivated with your training. And if this has helped you today, or any of the other videos have, then I've done my job and I'm really happy. But yeah, keep up the great work and speak to you soon.